Hey there, my awesome devs. Last week, I randomly stumbled upon a LinkedIn post that showcased this website. And honestly, at first, I didn't think much of it. But the moment I actually opened it and started exploring, things got interesting real fast. The site is packed with so many tiny micro interactions that can instantly grab your attention. This insane block reveal animation completely stunned me. It's just beautifully done. And the crazy part is, that's not even the highlight of the whole experience. Look at this mind-boggling hover effect. It's so clean and so cleverly executed that you cannot help but play with it for a few minutes. But we are going to save the recreation of that one for another video. For now, we are diving into the madness and rebuilding this navigation reveal step by step. So let's dive in. Alright, let's set up the HTML structure. I'm starting with a simple menu button at the top. It's just a div with the remix hamburger icon inside it. I have set the icon size inline using 1.5 VW just so it scales nicely. Right below that, I'm adding the navigation bar. It has two small text groups, one on the left and one on the right. Each group has two p tags. We will position everything using Flexbox in CSS. Next is the hero section. This holds the big headline. You see here some of the letters are wrapped inside span tags. That's just because the original website uses a different font for those specific characters, so we are matching that look. Below the hero, I'm adding an empty div called square container. We won't put anything inside it manually. JavaScript will fill this with a grid of squares when the menu opens. Now, this is the menu overlay section. It has two parts. On the left, the big heading. And on the right, 4 navigation links with number next to them. This whole section stays hidden by default, and we will reveal it using the block animation later. And at the bottom, I'm loading the GSAP script file that's going to handle the block reveal animation and the overlay transition. So that's it for the HTML part. Let's make it better using CSS. So I'm starting with a simple global reset, removing the default margin and padding, setting box sizing to border box, and turning off overflow so nothing spells out during animations. After that, I'm loading the 3 custom fonts I'll be using: Gradular, RM New, and RM Mono. Next is the hero section. It's fixed, spans the full viewport, and stays centered. It sits behind everything using a -z index. And I have disabled pointer events so it doesn't block any interactions. For the main heading, I'm using RM New with a huge responsive font size, tight line height, uppercase styling, and then switching certain letters to the gradular font using spans to add some visual personality. Now for the menu button, I'm fixing it at the top center. And because it has icon inside, I'm using Flexbox to center that icon perfectly. A little margin and padding help it to sit comfortably. Then all the styling kicks in: a soft white transparent background, a subtle border, rounded corners, a blur for that frosted glass look, and a shadow underneath to lift it off the layout. Cursor is set to pointer and the Z index keeps it above everything. Moving to the navigation bar, it's fixed at the top, stretched across the screen, and uses mix blend mode difference so the text always stays visible no matter the background. The items inside use RM mono with uppercase, minimal styling. Then I set up the square container. It fills the whole screen and uses flex wrap so all the orange blocks can lay out naturally inside it. Each square is 100 by 100 pixels, bright orange, and has pointer event disabled since they are only for the reveal animation. After that comes the menu content panel. It's a full screen dark section that slides in when the menu opens. It's set up using Flexbox, padded on the sides, and uses white text to contrast the dark background. Inside that, I am arranging the content into two main columns. On the left, there's a large heading in orange to match our theme. And on the right, everything stacks vertically, the navigation links and the labels. And finally, the nav links themselves use RM mono again. Stay uppercase, and are spaced out using gaps so the layout feels clean and readable. And that's it for the styling part. Now the real fun starts in JavaScript. Alright, I'm starting by waiting for the page to fully load using DOM content loaded. Inside that, I'm grabbing all the elements I need. The menu panel, the menu button, an empty array where all the squares will be stored, and the square container. Then I set the size for each square. And I calculate how many rows and columns we need based on the screen width and height. Using that, I get the total number of squares that will fill the entire viewport. Next, I update the container's width and height so it matches the grid we are about to create. I'm also setting the menu's initial opacity to 0, so it stays hidden until the animation is done. Now, I have a function called createSquares. This just loops through the total number of squares creates each one, adds the square class, appends it to the container, and pushes it into the array. After that, I have got the animateSquares function. Here, I'm using GSAP to animate all the squares in two phases. First, they fade in from 0 opacity with a tiny stagger from random positions. Then, after a delay, they fade out again using the same stagger. which gives us that chaotic block reveal effect. I also have a variable called overlay visible to track whether the menu is open or closed. Then, inside the menu button click event, I'm clearing out any squares from the previous animation, resetting the array and creating a fresh set each time the menu is toggled. Right after that, I trigger the block reveal animation. Then, I animate the menu panel itself. Using GSAP, I fade it in or fade it out depending on the current state. And I adjust the visibility and z-index so the panel appears above everything when it's open and moves behind when it's closed. Finally, I flip the value of overlay visible so the next click does the opposite action. And that's the complete animation. Here's the final look. If you find my work helpful, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already. Until then, peace out.